pirates wouldn't get everything. The dead guys looked like soldiers in one of those Central American guerrilla armies. Pirates with a manifesto, psychos with a dream. That sort of bullshit. The room belonged to Passos, my partner in crime. Or maybe someone else's. This was where Marcelo was supposed to be sleeping. He'd barely come down to this deck. The radio. Maybe I could send out an SOS. It certainly wasn't the first time I'd woken up with a hangover, long after a party had turned sour. The need to get out of the boat's hull and onto the upper deck as soon as possible was countered by the probability of running into another hijacker. I had to move carefully. Sucking oxygen from the room. I didn't care if I got shot the second I got out of there. I needed one more gulp of fresh air before I died. It was like the need for a wake-up whiskey after a 2-day bender. How to shut off the fuel feeds. Move, Max. Shut down one engine, but it didn't make much difference. There. I could breathe again. Now the boat could get back to smelling like suntan oil, stale margaritas, and greed. So this was the famous Panama Canal. We could have gone to the moon while I was passed out and I wouldn't have noticed. While I'd been dead to the world, some of my shipmates were just plain dead. Where had they taken them? was a different scene than the one I'd stumbled away from. Where was everyone? I still didn't know what the hell happened. I didn't like to think what was behind the door. The guys up ahead weren't dealing with passengers like the rest of them. Maybe I should have realized then that this was no ordinary kidnap job. Something on the boat had attracted the sharks. Whatever they were looking for appeared to be gone. Daphne Bernstein, a recent divorcee, making the most of her considerable settlement, and Marcella was making the most of her. I don't want to think about it. They didn't help with my sea legs, but they sure as shit felt good.
¡Puta, aquí no hay nada!
I was on a ghost ship in a ghost canal. The whole thing creeped me the hell out. Booze, coke, pills. You could get whatever party favor you wanted on this vessel. The boat was well appointed.
¡Está abierto!
Daphne's ship was always stocked. Maybe there was something on the bridge. I checked every other inch of the boat. I spotted Passos and Marcelo. If I'd known back then that they'd been up to no good while I was fighting my way through a band of violent paramilitaries and a worse hangover, I might not have wanted to get over to them so bad. At the time, I hadn't thought too much about this. I hadn't thought too much about anything. Now I remember it. It didn't seem quite so kosher. See, I didn't think Passos was a bad guy. He didn't need to try to save this woman or the crew. Building to get across the canal. There was some equipment in the truck next to me. It'd be a shame to see it go to waste. We can get across up top. These are pros, man. Get it covered. what I expected to find. On a boat full of drunks and bullshit artists, I'd been the cabaret act. Shooting whatever came in front of me was easier than coming to terms with that reality. Something to help me adjust to being back on land. It was nice to see a friendly face in Panama. Fancy seeing you here. Americans had a long and checkered history of involvement in Panama. This was my sorry chapter, for what it's worth. I should have jumped in that goddamn canal myself and swum my way back to New York.
Let me ask you again, Max. Failed in America, failed in Sao Paulo. He was surrounded by more money and more poverty than his tiny little head can handle. I think guys like that can't be bought.
No,
But nothing. Probably not a bad guy. He's just a man caught in the crossfire of a very rich man.
what about me?
You. You're the fall guy. The American, running around, acting like the action hero, killing lots of people. You're a stroke of genius.
That ain't how it is.
You were an angry ex-cop who was sitting in a bar with a history of violence and a history of a bad temper. You're perfect.
Me and Passos went to the academy together.
Did you?
I don't fucking know.
Let's take a drive, Max. You want to do some good? You want to get yourself killed in a good cause? Then I need you to check something out for me.
Like what?
That incident in the favela today. Some of my officers say a bus drove off some captives.
It did, I saw it.
But no captives were ever booked.
Probably handed them off to the paramilitary death squads.
Cash out, Payne? Who did?
The cops. The other cops. The cops who shoot on sight.
The UFE.
Right.
Max, you see that building there?
Tell me.
That's what it says. Women, large groups, bust the truth. Or one of the comments. So you keep saying.
Time to find out what was going on here. I didn't fancy booking myself in the presidential suite, so went looking for the basement. I wasn't too excited about the acoustics in this place. A couple of gunshots would sound like I'd walked in here with a goddamn marching band. It wasn't pretty, but I guess none of what was about to happen was gonna be. It was the question I kept on asking myself. How could I have been so blind? I was convinced the Broncos had gotten the wrong man for the job, but maybe De Silva was right. I was the stooge. The bad joke everybody got but me.